The Isles of Shoals of southern New Hampshire, as well as the nearby Great Bay, are some of the most beautiful and treasured geographical features of the New England area. Renowned for its beauty and history, the Isles of Shoals are visited by tourists and New England locals alike. The equally beautiful Great Bay is home to 7,000 acres of water and wetlands and provides a vital habitat for one of New England's most flourishing ecosystems, as well as 23 endangered species. These landmarks would have been all but destroyed by the effects of industry if not for the unity between the Seacoast local media, public protest, and representation by state legislators. And defending it were Seacoast, New Hampshire's residents and the small university town of Durham, New Hampshire.
It all began in the summer of 1973 with a Nashua realtor driving the small winding roads of Durham Point in his black Cadillac. He pulled up to many of the houses in the area, requesting to buy claims on the basis of varying excuses. One of the offers was made to the land of the 27-year-old housewife, Nancy Sandberg.
My family, and which consisted of my husband, a science teacher, and myself and our 3.5-year-old daughter, were approached one summer day by two men in dark suits, and they wanted to buy some land from us. And we said, well, sorry, we're not interested in selling our land. We had just begun a small farm operation selling fruits and vegetables out of our barn.
Sandberg was not the only homeowner approached on Durham Point, and the growing number of offers grew the local suspicions surrounding what the land would be used for. Sandberg and her neighbors held a meeting to discuss what action should be taken regarding the land offers. It was decided that any large land acquisition on Durham Point was not in their interest. To protect the land, their newly formed organization would be called Save Our Shores, and Sandberg would be their chairman.
Sandberg and Save Our Shores teamed up with the upstart local newspaper Public Occurrences and its publisher Phyllis Bennett. With Sandberg's organization and Bennett's media outlet, a small investigation was conducted on the rumors surrounding what the land on Durham Point was going to be used for. Upon further leaks of the information with the growing public interest, Public Occurrences kept Durham and the Seacoast up to date with the rumors that the land would be used for a large oil refinery, with the stories titled Dark Shadow Over Durham and Pipeline Coming to Durham.
With the growing public unrest in Durham's Seacoast, the governor was forced to unveil his plan of building an oil refinery on Durham Point next to Great Bay prior to its planned reveal. Governor Thompson announced the refinery was to be built by Aristotle Onassis and would produce 400,000 barrels of oil a day, making it the largest refinery in the world. Crude oil from Iran would be piped from a large oil dock on the Isles of Shoals to Rye, through Pease Air Force Base, under the Great Bay, and to the refinery on Durham Point. Product would be put into tanks along the Piscataqua River, a truck terminal would be built next to Route 95, and cooling water would be pumped from Lake Winnipesaukee. The monumental project would require 2,500 construction workers and a 1,000-person permanent staff.
And of course, when we heard that it was an oil refinery, we said, that's not right for Durham.
The announcement brought about a war between Governor Thompson and Aristotle Onassis versus the New Hampshire Seacoast, with Nancy Sandberg's Save Our Shores right in the middle of it. The upcoming conflict was recognized by everyone, and the New Hampshire's largest newspaper, the Manchester Union, was not afraid to voice its opinion with William Loeb's statement on November 29, 1973. There will be, of course, the usual uproar from the environmentalists who apparently want to huddle by their smoking wood stoves and don't care how cold the rest of us are in home, office, and factory. The state of New Hampshire and the people of the Granite State are in no mood to have further suffering forced on them by the irrational and hysterical conservationists. If these misguided people don't want to do their cause irreparable harm, they will not try to block this refinery with all it means for the future and comfort and industrial growth of New Hampshire.
The Manchester Union leader, combined with the governor and Onassis, had far more influence in the Seacoast's measly public occurrences and local activists. This David versus Goliath battle seemed hopeless for Durham and their precious ecosystem, but the battle was far from over.
One of the Seacoast's only hopes lied in freshman House Representative Dudley Dudley.
My friends from the legislature who said they had heard about it, and they would be happy to help me, assuming that that would be my position would be that I opposed it. And I did, instantly, as soon as I focused on the fact that it might really be an oil refinery.
Up until this point, New Hampshire's Home Rule Bill gave towns the right to vote on whether things such as alcohol and cigarettes could be sold, but the rule did not mention foreign industrial facilities. Legally, the Seacoast's only real hope lied in a change to that bill that could give any New Hampshire town the ability to vote on a refinery, and that task lied in the hands of Dudley.
With Dudley working in the State House, Save Our Shores kept on with his mission to convince Durham and the rest of the region what the best decision was on the refinery. Sandberg's Save Our Shores created handouts, posters, and bumper stickers to spread propaganda against the refinery. They even went so far as to make a 200-foot-long petition that stretched down Main Street. The petition was made of copy paper, scotch tape, end to end, to make room for 4,000 signatures.
Onassis did not wait quietly, but fired back with statements such as jobs for all, no property taxes, cheaper gas. However, all of these were disproven by how local economies responded to oil refineries in other areas of the country, such as Texas and New Jersey.
With most of the state being all ready for the refinery, Aristotle Onassis sped around the state, making speeches in as many large towns as possible. On December 19th, in one of these speeches, he made the statement,
"The last thing I would like to do is impose an unpleasant investment onto the inhabitants of New Hampshire."
Governor Thompson then said,
"I have assured the people of Durham there will be no imposition of anything. If they are not smart enough to understand this could be of great advantage to them, there are many others that do want it."
Save Our Shores and Durham residents made gigantic signs in fields reading, "Not Here," for Onassis helicopters. While locals were doing all they could against the monster that was the governor, Onassis, and the rest of the state, Dudley was working to convince legislators that home rule had to be amended.
By late December, Olympic Oil was doing all they could to sway Durham's anti-refinery position.
The refinery people wanted to have a meeting where all of Durham's questions could be answered. They wanted to get everything out in the air and have us all understand what was going on. So they got the field house at UNH, and it was packed. There was standing room only, and one by one people asked questions.
The poor organization by Olympic made it clear that they were not prepared to change Durham's mind, never mind actually build the refinery.
And at that point, there was no reason for them to continue. I mean, it was ridiculous. There was nothing they could say that would make us believe anything they told us.
On March 6th, the Durham Board of Selectmen organized a vote in the cafeteria of Oyster River High School. The efforts of Sandberg and Save Our Shores, Bennett and Public Occurrences, combined with the poor planning and presentation by Olympic oil refineries, led to an overwhelmingly anti-refinery vote by the town of Durham. The vote tallied 1,254 against the refinery to only 144 for it. However, the vote held no legal meaning until New Hampshire's Home Rule Bill could be changed to give towns the right to vote on a refinery.
Dudley's efforts in the State House did finally pay off when on March 7th of 1974, the New Hampshire House voted on a roll call by a margin of 233 to 109 to reject the current Home Rule Bill. Later in the day, they passed Dudley's amended version of the bill requiring the majority vote of the affected town on the refinery. With Home Rule amended and Durham's decision already made, Onassis was prohibited from building his refinery in Durham, New Hampshire.
The efforts of Sandberg, Bennett, Dudley, and the rest of the Seacoast helped the New Hampshire legislators and many of those who were for the refinery believe that any town, not only Durham, had the right to vote on an issue of this magnitude. The benefits of the refinery were understood by both parties, but no benefit was great enough to outweigh the say of an area it was affecting.
The night of the vote in the legislature, a group of us went out to dinner, and we were sitting around this table just relaxing and feeling very happy when all of a sudden we realized that across the room there were all the Olympic people, all the Onassis people, all the consultants from Pervin and Gertz and Texas Instruments, and they came over to us, and one by one they put out their hand, and the first one, Robert Green, said, "We just want you to know that the right side won."